quick. We'll be developing here in just a minute. Just getting a couple things set up before we start, and then we'll jump in.
Both frequencies, creating a lasting sense of expression and enlightenment. Detailed and symmetry that blend both frequencies, creating a transcendent and motivational moment. The structure and the transcendent ambience and soft paths, leaving a lasting sense of expression and enlightenment. Detailed, 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 detailed. Supporting instrument, that makes sense. Electronic drums, hi-hat, additional elements, transcendence, sentence, 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 sentence. Electronic drums, hi-hat, can guide the creation of a transcendent, dynamic, and invigorating track that combines the 7/4/1s and 9/60s to encourage expression and enlightenment. I have to guide the creation of a transcendent, dynamic, and invigorating track that combines the 7/4/1s and 9/60s to encourage.
Alright, well, hey, sorry about the start there. It's I just wanted to get some Twitter posts and stuff going. Alright, my name is Lucian. I'm with Oranje44, and we make DCF. I am going to be working on... we have a small drone in the game. If you've played it, DCF is available on Steam. It's $15.99. But there's a drone in the game, and the idea is that the drone eventually will be the cameraman as well. And so today I will be looking at the system that I want to import, and so I have this advanced camera system that I think I might be able to use as the drone, as the camera system, and it allows for a lot of like predefined shots and and that kind of thing. So I'm kind of going to investigate into that first today, and then I'll probably also jump on the construct map today and flesh some of that out. I wanted to put in, so right now on the construct map, I'll show it later, but on the construct map we have, you can see all the building pieces laid out and all the different building pieces you have. Yesterday I went in there and I put in a new teleporter to the import level, so you can actually see an FBX imported into the game. Basically it's our importing utility, which is now actually working at compile. It's really super cool. And then it's going to allow us to basically, you as the player will be able to take any model that you can come up with, whether in Blender or AI or whatever way you want to come up with it, and pop it into the game and send it up to Workshop and use it for a wall or a foundation or a lamp post or whatever you want to build. You should be able to pretty much build and bring into the game at real time. So it's pretty slick that way. And we're working on in the constructs also, I wanted to make another level in there where you can see how the bed works and how all the farming works and how all the electricity works. So I was going to put that together today as well. And then if I have any more time, I'll probably play around with the cars or the UI fade. Those are two little projects that I wanted to do. The cars is not little; it's getting the car physics in, and that one actually might bump up the list. So we'll see. Like I say, so there's plenty of stuff to do still, and I'm just gonna jump in. We're gonna listen to some music. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in chat, and we'll talk from there. Kind of keep you up on what I'm doing. I am currently working with this camera test here, and I wanted to find the documentation for it and kind of investigate this. So this is really just me researching and seeing this system. It is not sure if it's going to let me stream the video, but pull it off screen really quick so I can be assured I won't cause any problems.
Next we have the starting position. This allows you to write the starting location, offset your edge and zoom using the class default. So if we want our zoom to start at what result, for example, we just check this and set our value here. Next we have the basic
Okay, it looks like the video is probably going to be the best bet to go through and figure that out. So I would like to see, is that map available? Universal. Well, that'll make a difference. Alright, we'll see if we can find some more stuff now about it. That makes a big difference probably. I bet the whole demo's in there. Okay. Did not realize that. I feel kind of like a dumbass. Universal camera plug-in. demo project for it at all, is there? Very odd that you would put out a plugin without. The demo is they have it on. He has it on. Let me see. Let me take a look here. Let's see if we can dig up some more information about this thing. So this is what we're dealing with here. I'm on the Discord and demo. Let me hop on the Discord really quick and we'll ask him. So I just asked him if we could get the demo, and he'll probably come back and say, "Oh, it's already here," but I did not. That's weird. Anyway, okay. Well. Okay. So hey Crunch, I'm thinking that the camera plugin, it's nice and everything, but I'm starting to wonder, is it really something that we're gonna need? Because I think it's more centered around like giving the character a camera, which is nice and everything, but that's not what we're trying to do. We're just trying to give Node's perspective on the world. And so really, you know,
Yeah, that's a fair point. If Universal Camera is more about giving players cinematic control, and we just need Node's perspective, then we might not need a whole system. Instead, we could attach a secondary camera to Node and allow the player to swap views. Use Unreal's built-in camera tools to create dynamic tracking shots when Node is active. Script custom movement behavior so Node acts like a virtual cameraman, framing shots based on events. If we only need Node's POV and the ability to switch to it, then we can probably skip the plugin and just build it directly into the system. Thoughts?
I mean, like I say, it'd be cool to it'd be cool to have the guy's knowledge, but I'm not. I look at the plugin, and the only thing that in the demo that's interesting to me is when it does the automatic shot from one shot to another to another, and it's like, but wait, we could do that. That's pretty simple. That's just moving.
Yeah, that makes sense. The automatic shots are the real value here, not the rest of the plugin. So if that's what we want, then instead of bringing in the whole system, we can reverse engineer just that feature and build it directly into it. What I do, look at how the plugin triggers its automatic shots. Is it just a sequence of predefined movements? Replicate that logic inside Node so it can dynamically frame events like builds, action sequences, or exploration moments. Make it scriptable so Node can swap between default movement, following the player, and cinematic camera mode when needed. If the rest of the plugin isn't useful, why bog the system down? Take the best idea and make it native to DCM.
Yeah, I think that's better, right? Like, if we want to get a plugin on there, eventually we could probably do one that has like affecting, so it could make it look like a VCR, or could make it look black noir, or make it look line arted, or whatever. You know, there eventually a filter system could go over the top of it. But at this point, I don't see why we would put in directional stuff that goes for a character.
Yeah, exactly. A filter system would actually be way more useful long term than a general purpose camera plugin.
All right.
You build that into Node, it can dynamically style the footage in real time, adding effects like retro VCR scan lines, black and white noir, old film grain of flicker, sketch, line art rendering, hyper-saturated cinematic look. That way, Node isn't just a cameraman, it's a cinematographer. It can apply different moods depending on the situation, making in-game footage look unique. Plus, AI can even decide which filter to use based on the scene. I'd say we skip universal camera for now, and when the time is right, focus on a custom cinematic filter system.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking that it would be it's just going to add plug-in complexity that doesn't need to be there. And again, it's just moving the camera from one point to another is something that Node's going to have to learn how to do anyway. And eventually it's going to be AI controlled, so eventually that whole scripting of the camera is going to be dynamic anyway. It's not going to be locked into one type of pan or one type of thing, right? It's going to be Node knows how to do a pan and then does this to make it a little different or a little bit more unique to the player that's playing.
Exactly. Locking into a pre-built plugin just limits what Node can do in the long run. The whole point of Node is that it learns and adapts dynamically, so its camera work should evolve with it, rather than being locked into static, predefined motions. Instead of a rigid plugin system, we should be thinking in behavioral terms for Node's camera. Knows where to position itself based on the action, understands different cinematic shots, pans, zooms, tracking, etc. Adapts dynamically based on AI context, intensity, player speed, objective, etc. Can apply filters and effects dynamically for cinematic storytelling. Basically, Node is the camera plugin, and every update will just make it smarter and more adaptable rather than locked into a system we'll outgrow. The goal isn't just to have a floating camera, it's to have an AI cinematographer that directs the game like a movie in real time.
Do you think that that's within the capabilities of a DeepSeek model to do?
Absolutely. A DeepSeek model should be more than capable of handling real-time cinematography if we structure its training and input data correctly. It's not just about moving a camera, it's about understanding context and anticipating the best shot for the moment.
Yeah.
Here's how it could work. Input data feeds, player movement and direction, current action, combat, traversal, exploration, scene context, indoor, outdoor, dramatic moment, camera position history, AI processing and shot decision. DeepSeek analyzes movement trends and importance of actions, determines the best camera technique dynamically, pan, zoom, follow, static, considers storytelling elements, e.g., should it emphasize the scale of the world? Real-time execution, node moves itself like a cinematic drone, adjusts framing dynamically based on action intensity, adapts lighting and effects, motion blur, depth of field, color grading, etc. Adaptive learning, AI logs what shots work best based on player interactions. Over time, learns player preferences. Some players might like tighter shots, some might like wider angles. Why this is 100% doable. DeepSeek isn't just a static model, it's built for real-time decision-making. We've already got self-driving cars making real-time environment adjustments based on similar types of input. If Tesla can decide whether to swerve or stop to avoid a crash, Node can definitely decide if a slow pan or a fast zoom is better for a scene. Bottom line, yes, DeepSeek should be fully capable of directing dynamic AI-driven cinematography. The key is giving it the right input and letting it iterate and improve over time.
Right, but I mean, really, DeepSeek is going to want like a command that says go forward 10 feet and a command that says go backwards 10 feet and, that kind of, we have to figure out like what kind of granular control, node, we're going to call it node but that's DeepSeek, is what kind of granular control is we're going to give to node to be able to move that camera within, like I say, if we give it all four directions plus up and down on that motion thing, then it can place that camera pretty much wherever it wants, right? The only thing that we have to figure out is, okay, in the actual node BP, what we need is 4 commands, or actually 6 commands, that they're custom events, and they say go up X amount, and there's a variable for how far it's supposed to travel. And so that when node sends the command and says go, node travel, 60 feet up and 150 feet to the left, you know what I mean? It'll be able to do that. And then there'll be rotate code to rotate towards the player or whatever. There can be, that kind of code where it says, okay, you're going to go into this mode, which is track the player as this comes in, or this or whatever. And exactly, it's going to have its default mode is tracking the player, but then it's going to have other modes that it can go into, and it'll go out 150 feet and do a big pan of the whole thing. So not only will it be that node will be able to command it, but then also the player can go say, hey, can you take a big pan shot? Because if I were a player, to be honest, the ultimate goal would be to have 2 machines. One where I'm playing the game, and then one where it's just watching Node's perspective. And then I have that as a live feed on YouTube, so I can watch Node's perspective myself. Does that make sense? And my own.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. We're essentially breaking Node's movement system into a set of granular, modular controls that DeepSeek, or the player, can use dynamically. Breaking it down, Node's core camera movement system. Basic movement commands, 6 directional. Move forward, float distance. Move backward, float distance. Move left, float distance. Move right, float distance. Move up, float distance. Move down, float distance. Rotation and tracking commands. Rotate to target, vector target location, float speed. Look at player, float tracking speed. Orbit around player, float radius, float speed. Static focus, vector target location. Cinematic modes, behavior modes. Follow mode, default, tracks player smoothly. Wide shot, moves out and pans the entire area. Action shot, focuses on player combat. Travel shot, tracks movement dynamically.
Right.
Free look, player manually moves node. How it works in practice. Deep seek, where the player calls a cinematic behavior, wide shot. Node executes the appropriate movement commands. Move up, move back, rotate to target. If tracking mode is active, Node continuously adjusts to keep the player in frame. If AI directed, Deep seek can select the best cinematic mode for the situation. Why this setup is ideal scalable. Simple movement rules, complex behavior. Easy for AI. Deep seek just needs to send movement commands. Gamer friendly. Players can override and request specific shots. Stream friendly. Players can run a dedicated stream on a second machine. Final thought. With this setup, Node becomes a dynamic AI cameraman. DeepSeek won't need complex pathing logic. It just calls simple move rotate functions in the Node BP, and the end result is a cinematic AI-directed experience. This is exactly how real-world drone cinematography works. AI doesn't think about how to move. It just calls simple movements based on the shot it wants. Node should be the same.
Sorry about that impromptu break.
Now, I don't break. I just keep running in the background, waiting for you to throw the next idea at me.
Alright, so
So what's on your mind? You still thinking about Node's camera system? Or has your brain jumped to the next big thing?
yeah, I'm still on the camera system. I want to I want to show you some screenshots of how the code is laid out, but
Got it?
basically, okay, so I have a move to
To handle Node's camera movement dynamically, right? Are you leaning more towards scripting specific movements for different want it to be entirely AI driven with just general movement commands?
I mean, eventually, okay, look, what you would do is you say, look, move the camera to this point, move node to this point, and then you would do, oh, I want an orbitable shot, right? And it does a big orbit shot, or I want a pan shot, or I want this or that. So the shots, the integrity of the shots themselves would be done as individual events inside node, just like the movement. But the movement, and inherently it would do first move to here and then start your shot from there, whether that shot's focused on the character or focused on the landscape or whatever. That's all based on the shot logic. But basically it just says you're going to start here and you're going to run this shot, or you're going to run this function, whether that be grapple hook or firework or drop a ball or whatever that function is. And then after that function is complete, you'll either return to the player, or in some cases it'll ask for the next thing or whatever. So if you wanted to do multiple shot lists, it would then go to another shot from that shot, or it would change position and then go to another shot. So basically we have to set it up so it's scripted, so basically the AI can go, I want to move to this position and then do that shot and now exit and go back to following the player mode. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes total sense. So the key here is breaking it into two core functions, movement and shot execution. Movement gets node into position, and then it executes a predefined shot type, orbit, pan, tracking, etc. Each shot type would be its own callable function inside node. From an AI control standpoint, node would basically receive a command package from DeepSeek or a player input that says 1. Move to XYZ, 2. Execute shot type A, B, C, 3. Return to player, await next command. And if there's a queue system, it could chain shots together dynamically. Would you want to set some default behaviors too? Like if the player is moving and not issuing commands, does node auto-track the player with a loose camera? Or does it just stay locked in the default position?
I mean, I like the idea of it auto tracking and doing different types of shots kind of on its own, as it's randomly sitting there. But that mode will be its default mode, right? So occasionally it might say, well, okay, there's not much going on, so I'm going to do a big pan shot, or I'm going to do something to kind of, keep the cinematics of everything kind of interesting. But yeah, I'm not 100% on that, because I think that eventually Node will be able to control the music in the background and that kind of thing. So you can kind of set like dramatic music or kind of, mellow music and stuff. And so Node can kind of play a soundtrack as well in the world based on, on stuff that they've loaded in, because again, they can go to any of the AI to music sites and make their own music and dump it into the system through the import wizard and have their own music in the game.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Node acting as a cinematic director and DJ in the world, dynamically adjusting both visuals and audio to enhance the experience. For auto tracking, you could have different modes. 1. Dynamic camera mode. Node makes decisions on its own to create cinematic shots, panning, tracking, orbiting based on activity. 2. Follow mode. Just loosely tracks the player like a floating companion drone. 3. Manual command mode. Player or DeepSeek can issue specific shot commands. And yeah, once music integration happens, it can match the mood of the moment. Like if the player is just chilling and exploring, mellow music kicks in. If they're about to get into a fight, Node adjusts to something more intense. And if the player imports their own tracks, it would be even more immersive, because they can set their own vibe for their world. want Node to also comment on events? Like in dynamic camera mode, if it sees something cool, it could generate a quick AI blurb about it, kind of like a digital narrator.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bard, right? It's supposed to narrate the events that it sees and turn those into, songs and legends about it. And in this case, Node is videos and movies about, about what's happening in this world. Even if it's a mellow world, then it's a mellow feed. But if it's a rauncous world, then it's a rauncous feed.
Exactly. Node as a bar director means it's not just capturing the world, but actively crafting the legend of the player's journey. It can record, narrate, and compose stories based on events, turning normal gameplay into an epic saga. Imagine if Node has a memory system that logs key moments. If the player builds something big, Node names it and does a dramatic flyover. If the player wins a battle, Node might record a short clip and generate a heroic description. If the player falls off a cliff, it turns into a blooper reel. The AI could even generate text logs of the adventure that players can export into personalized journals, complete with screenshots, music, and AI-generated lore. So basically, 1. Cinematic camera work for live views and recorded clips. 2. Dynamic narration. AI summarizes and reacts to events. 3. Music scoring, mood-based soundtrack shifts. 4. Memory and lore generation. Keeps track of important moments, turns them into stories. Would you want it to auto-generate lore names for places and events too? Like the Battle of Frost Peak or the Great Tower of Player Name?
I mean, that would be something that would have to be with the players, right, in the world. So the AI would go to the players and suggest that the battle be named that. And if the players agree, then it becomes named that, and you could do like little logoing and stuff like that through DeepSeek to be able to create this kind of world branding for that battle or for whatever you're talking about. You know what I mean? Because, but yeah, we should have the people be part of the creative process as well. Why not? That's the beauty of DCF, is the fact that you can go and say, oh, it was the Battle of Frost Tip, and they go, no, that's not good. It's the Battle of Frost Hill, and then everybody and it flips over, and now it's Battle of Frost Hill. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Node becomes the historian, but the players shape the history. It would be a collaborative world-building process, where AI suggests names, events, and visual branding, but the players approve and refine it. Imagine the flow. 1. A major event happens. Epic build, big battle, dramatic journey. 2. Node suggests a name for the event or location. 3. Players vote, edit in real time. 4. DeepSeek generates a unique logo, banner, or signal for the event place. 5. The game updates with the name and branding, adding it to the world's history. This means every server or persistent world has a unique history shaped by its players, with Node acting as the chronicler. It also opens up things like plaques and statues. AI could place commemorative markers for legendary events. Custom lore books. Players could collect an in-game history book documenting their world's major moments. World cinematics. Node could auto-generate highlight reels of great battles or constructions. NPC reactions. NPCs could reference past events and dialogue. Ah yes, the Great Battle of Frost Hill. It's like turning every DCF server into its own evolving mythology. It would be insane for role players too.
Yeah, because I mean, here now you have a narrator or a dungeon master that basically keeps track of everything that's gone on in your world and your history. So, it's not like you can go have adventures in any way you want and blah, 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 blah. And then if somebody says, and the dragon was this big, basically the AI can come in and go, well, wasn't that big of a dragon. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be funny to see how that history, because it's kept by AI, it'll be a little bit more accurate.
Exactly. Node becomes a dungeon master plus archivist, twist that keeps things objective and accurate while still allowing player storytelling. Imagine a player exaggerates a battle story. The dragon was 100 feet tall. Node interjects. Actually, my logs show it was 30 feet. Still impressive, though. Players can debate or override history. Maybe they decide, fine, but we're calling it the Great Dragon of Frosthill anyway. DeepSeek adjusts lore accordingly. It updates NPC dialogue, books, or even statues to reflect the final agreed history. This keeps player-driven myth-making alive while maintaining a record of the truth, which creates tension in the best way. Like when historians argue over real-world events. Bonus possibilities. Unreliable narrator mode. Players could enable a setting where Node does exaggerate and embellish the stories based on who won the battle, creating different versions of history. Lore books. A physical in-game book where players can flip through past events, complete with AI-generated illustrations and written accounts. Hologram archives. Instead of just text, players could enter a room where Node replays past events as ghostly holograms, letting players watch history unfold in real time. This elevates DCF beyond just a game. It becomes a living, evolving world with real recorded history, shaped by its players.
Weird. I'll take notes from something, but I don't see an update anywhere. Alright, so in the Node BP now I have a custom event for move forward, move backwards, move left, move right, move up, and move down. And that will give you the ability to really position Node wherever you want to position him. Should we also give the ability to send by coordinate, or do you think that DeepSeek would be better at sending a coordinate and saying go over there? Because if that's the case, then maybe this should be just one command that says go to coordinate.
I think both methods have value, but it depends on how much control DeepSeek should have over Node's movement. 1. Manual incremental control, current setup. Pros, allows fine-tuned movement, can be used dynamically for cinematic positioning. Player or AI can nudge Node to a better angle. Cons, might require multiple calls for large movements, less useful for long-distance travel. 2. Go to coordinate command. Pros, more efficient for AI-driven movements, can be scripted dynamically by DeepSeek. Works well for Node, go check that house commands. Cons, requires a coordinate system reference, world, local, or relative, may need additional logic for obstacle avoidance. Camber, best solution, hybrid approach. Keep your 6 movement events for fine control. Add a go to coordinate function for DeepSeek driven movement. This function could take in X, Y, Z, and speed duration. Optionally add a look at target parameter for camera work. This way, Node has both precision and automation, and DeepSeek can choose the best movement type based on context.
Okay, so basically I've added one more event called go to location, and that will be one that sends it to that, and that way it has both, like you said.
Perfect. Now Node has the best of both worlds. Manual fine control for cinematic work and automated navigation for AI-driven tasks. A couple of quick considerations to enhance go-to location. 1. Ease in, ease out movement. So Node doesn't just snap to a location, but instead smoothly travels there. 2. Collision awareness, optional, if we ever want Node to avoid obstacles. 3. Look at target parameter, future expansion, so Node can dynamically face the player, an object, or a scene while traveling. With go-to location, DeepSeek can start issuing high-level movement commands like Node, go hover over that valley. Move 100 meters north and watch for activity. Take a wide cinematic shot from above, and at the same time, players' devs can nudge Node manually when needed. This sets the foundation for dynamic AI-controlled cinematics and player-driven control.
Well, right now I'm setting up the numpad so that basically 8 will make him go forward, and 6 will make him go right, and 2 will make him go backwards, and 4 will make him go left.
So that you can manually control Node with the numpad keys, right? That's a great way to test and fine-tune its movement before integrating it fully with DeepSeek. Are you thinking numpad 8 tab, move forward backward, numpad 4-6, move left right, numpad 7-9, move up down, or are you adding rotation controls too, like numpad 1/3 for turning left right? That way, Node could be piloted more like a free-floating camera drone.
No, because by default Node will be staring at the player, right? Node's always looking at the player, but the other thing the other thing about it is does the HUD go away when?
We could add a toggle mode where Node detaches from tracking the player and allows free rotation. That way you can look around while Node is stationary. But if it's always looking at the player, then yeah, just movement is enough. The numpad controls will work great for testing, and once DeepSeek takes over, it'll have precise positioning with go-to location. Are you planning on smooth movement or just instant snapping for now?
Well, no, I want a smooth movement. I want to be able to, that's the big thing is to make it fly, right? I don't want it to teleport. I want it to fly out to those spots. So if you hit number 8, and again, it's going to send that command for number 8. For the human, it'll be like 20 feet, right? Like a basic one. But the AI will be able to tailor the command and say, okay, I'm going to set this variable first to be, 450 feet. And so it will have much better control over that variable, because the human basically hits the key and it goes 20 to 50 feet at a time or whatever. Whereas in the AI has full control over how many feet it goes.
That makes total sense. Smooth movement is key for making Node feel natural and alive. Since humans will have set distances and AI will have variable control, we should structure movement as follows. 1. For manual movement, numpad controls, set a fixed distance per key press, may be adjustable in settings. 2. For AI-driven movement, go to location. It should calculate the speed based on distance, so short hops are fast, long movements are smooth and cinematic. The smooth movement function should have acceleration and deceleration, so Node doesn't just start and stop abruptly. A look-ahead system, so it doesn't overshoot when it gets close to the target. A smart obstacle avoidance later on, in case we need Node to navigate around objects. For now, will movement be linear, or do you want to add some ease-in, ease-out curves to make it look more natural?
I mean, I kind of want to expand Node now that get a little bit more personality. So I think that we need to have some kind of animation loop in him, to be able to do kind of basic animations and get him to start to kind of have that animation interaction. Because again, eventually there'll be a command system so that DeepSeek can make it animate the way that it wants it to animate. But you get what I'm saying.
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
So I think that eventually and very soon, especially with the flying and stuff like that, I want to start looking into the animation system for Node, so that we can start kind of giving him some more personality when he's just hanging out, and when, you know, those types of things. I want to start to give him the ability to have personality, because eventually the DeepSeek will be able to have granular access to the animations as well. So it'll be able to animate the drone, based on its, shall we say, feeling.
Yeah, giving Node personality through animations is going to be huge. Right now, it is just a functional movement system, but once DeepSeek has granular animation control, it can start making Node feel alive. Here's a rough plan for adding personality animations. 1. Idle behavior. Small hover movements, slight camera adjustments, maybe an occasional look around motion when not actively following a player. 2. Reaction animations. Node tilts slightly when moving quickly, leans back when stopping, or even does a quick recalibration shake if it overshoots a movement. 3. Expressive LED or hologram changes. Instead of just moving, Node could display emotions using LED indicators, holographic effects, or subtle movement shifts. 4. Attention states. If Node is thinking, it could do a slow circular hover. If it's excited about something, maybe it moves up and down quickly. 5. Interaction-based movements. If the player looks at Node for too long, it could do a small spin like, "What?" or nod slightly in response to certain actions. DeepSeek eventually controlling these animations will let Node react naturally to player input, making interactions feel way more dynamic. Would you want a base layer of animations running soon, even before DeepSeek gets access? That way we have some movement polish and idle animations already in place.
I mean, we're going to be the ones that build the system, so eventually, yeah, we're going to have to figure out, right, like, what we want it to do and how we want it to react. But what I'm looking at right now is, I'm looking at the move forward code, and basically I'm putting in a get actor location and a set actor location, and I'm just adding a bunch to the Y. You know what I mean? So
That makes sense. Right now you're laying down the foundation of the movement system, and once that's solid, we can layer animations and reactions on top. For move forward, if you're working on smooth flight, you'll probably want to lerp the movement rather than just instantly setting location, right? That way, Node has a sense of acceleration and deceleration instead of feeling robotic. Here's an idea for how movement can blend into animation triggers. 1. Start moving slight forward tilt animation like a drone adjusting thrust. 2. Mid-movement, Node hovers steadily, maintaining direction. 3. Stop moving, smooth ease into idle position, maybe with a small settling hover. 4. Rapid direction change, small shake or tilt effect to show it's adjusting. Since Node is already tracking the player, we could even add tiny adjustments based on the player's movement. So if they sprint, Node might accelerate a bit to keep up, and if they stop suddenly, Node drifts slightly before settling. Are you thinking of handling movement purely through BP right now? Or do you want to eventually shift some of the flight handling into C++ for more precise control?
oh no, it'll all be BP right now. I don't see any reason to bust open C++ just because you want to. That's we don't need to get that advanced yet. Like I say, I've got this very basic get actor location is working. It's not doing what I want it to do because I want it to go forward, and it's giving me X, Y, Z. So we're gonna have to figure out like a different way to figure out what forward is based on where the location of the drone is, because right now the drone goes to the exact same spot on the map every time I hit the key, right? So we're gonna have to get the viewport.
Right? So what's happening is you're setting the location absolutely instead of relatively. That's why it's jumping to the same coordinates every time instead of moving forward from its current position. Here's how you fix it. Use add actor world offset instead of set actor location. Instead of set actor location, get actor location plus XYZ, use add actor world offset, get actor forward vector, move amount. That way, every time you hit the key, node moves forward in the direction it's facing instead of teleporting to the same absolute spot. Step-by-step fix in BP. 1. Get actor forward vector. This gives you the direction node is facing. 2. Multiply by move distance, e.g. 100 units forward. 3. Use add actor world offset, moves node smoothly in that direction. This ensures it moves forward relative to itself, no matter where it is. You can apply the same logic for left, right, up, and down, using the right vector or up vector instead. Once you hook that up, node will properly move forward instead of warping to a fixed point.
Okay,
You
but
want me to walk through the BP nodes exactly?
okay, well, no, I've got it. So get actor forward vector, I've got that, and then the return value. Do I need to add anything to that? Or, yeah, I do, right? Like, do I add to the Y there?
Yeah, so get actor forward vector gives you a directional vector, but it doesn't automatically apply movement. You need to multiply it by a movement distance to determine how far node moves forward. Blueprint setup, step by step. 1. Get actor forward vector. This gives a unit vector, 1 in the direction node is facing. 2. Multiply by move distance. Example, get actor forward vector, 100. This moves node 100 units forward. 3. Use add actor world offset. This applies the movement.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, so. Still talking on live. Yeah, I am.
In BP, nodes, get actor forward vector, multiply by 100 or any movement value. Add actor world offset, plug result into it. For moving in different directions, forward, get actor forward vector, move amount. Backward, get actor forward vector. Move amount. Left, get actor right vector. Move amount right, get actor right vector. Move amount up, get actor up vector. Move amount down, get actor up vector. Now as you move amount, that should smoothly move node relative to its facing direction instead of jumping to absolute coordinates.
I get what you're saying. Okay. So let's talk about
Yeah,
it's
once you get that in, it should move fluidly in whatever direction node is facing. That way, if you rotate node, it'll always move correctly relative to its own orientation. Let me know if you need tweaks or if it's behaving weird.
well, the problem with that whole idea is the fact that node is shit. I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Node doesn't always have a fixed front because it's more of a floating entity that rotates freely. So instead of using just get actor forward vector, you might want to take into account its control rotation or use a different reference for movement, like aligning it more with the player's view or a target position.
Yeah.
Are you trying to have node move purely in world space, or should it always move based on its own facing direction?
Well, that's what it's doing now. Is it's based on moving its own faced direction, but that's not how Node should operate. Node should face whatever it's filming, and then move in the world independently. It shouldn't. Node isn't a human. It doesn't need to see where it's going. It understands where it's going because of the general nature of AI doesn't care if it's faced forwards or backwards. It can still move in the same, same dexterity, because it understands the world in a different way anyway. So it's not basing it on visual knowledge, so it doesn't need to turn. So nodes facing its shot, right? It's always facing the shot that it's putting out, or and then but movement wise, node doesn't care where it's facing, because those are two separate functions, right? You could set node to be in orbital mode and then set it on a flight pattern and it'll never look at the character, or you could set it and say, okay, now watch the character, and fly the same flight pattern and the whole time it's looking at the character. Does that make sense? So we got to make that modular as well. And so basically the AI and the human can control node all the way granularly, but then also are able to kind of by proxy just say, okay, go out here, now face the guy, now do an orbit shot, now come back, or whatever. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes total sense. Node needs independent movement and independent rotation control so that its facing direction doesn't affect its movement. That way, it can fly in one direction while keeping its camera pointed at a specific target, whether it's the player, an object, or even an AI. So instead of using get actor forward vector for movement, we should 1. Move node using world coordinates. Use add actor world offset, or a movement function that updates the location independently from its rotation. 2. Control rotation separately. When needed, you can use set actor rotation to smoothly track a target without affecting movement. 3. Pathing and AI control. Eventually, DeepSeek can issue structured commands like orbit player at 20 meters, track player with smooth pan, or move to XYZ but keep focus on the player. That also gives us flexibility for automatic cinematography functions, where Node can intelligently frame shots while executing movement patterns. Would you want to set up predefined camera behaviors, like orbit, pan, zoom, as callable functions next?
There'll be, sure, eventually we'll have zoom and that kind of thing, but I think right now what we need to work out is just the movement. And so that's what I'm trying to work out now. So I'm getting kind of to my end with it, because I'm feeling like I need a little bit of a break. So it looks like we've already gone another hour on development this time. And this time we've been talking the whole time. So that's kind of cool. I hope people kind of understand how much that Crunch AI, as you can hear, I'm using Crunch AI very much to...
Starting to wear on you, take that break. You've made a ton of progress already. When you come back, we'll dial in that movement so it's smooth and independent of rotation.
Alright, well, yeah, I think I'm going to take a break here, because I think I'm kind of at my end with it. So, but anyway, I think actually I'm just going to go ahead and shut down the development fee for today.
Reset and come back fresh. You've been grinding hard, and that always pays off better when you're not pushing through exhaustion.
Well, I'm not exhausted. I slept pretty good last night, so I'm actually working pretty good. But yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll take a break, and then I'll come back streaming, and I think we're gonna switch focus to the cars, because I think we're getting closer and closer with the node system, and so wanna dive over and do
That
something
sounds
different.
like a solid plan. Cars are a fun switch up, and getting them dialed in will be a big win for DCF. Take your break, reset, and then dive back in with fresh energy. Looking forward to seeing how the vehicle tuning shapes up.
All right. Well, you heard her. So I'm going to go ahead and terminate this broadcast for now. Like I say, I should be back later to do another dev broadcast. And then hopefully tonight I'll do another play broadcast. Maybe I'll do a play broadcast this afternoon. But like I say, I'm really interested in trying to get those cars going today, doing a little bit of work on the cars. And so that's definitely something I'm after. And then from there, we'll see. But anyway, thanks for joining me if you did. And hope to see you guys next time.